You know what, guys? I just listened to this video from blackram and solotv 84. solotv 84 was actually interviewing blackram. Well, he wasn't interviewing him. I'd say they was just on a podcast together. And you know what, man? Sometimes I almost feel like I'm dreaming. I'm going to try to articulate my points as well as I can, but try to remember as much as I could. But it was just a groundbreaking video, man. Sometimes I wake up and, I drive in this car, go to work, come home, fool around with women, go to this place and go to that place and traverse here and traverse there, and just looking at this society, sometimes it's almost like I feel like I'm dreaming, man. I feel like I'm dreaming. Sometimes I say to myself, it's like, the way we live in is just unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Like, I can't believe it. It's almost like a dream. It's almost like a dream. I think that back when I was young, when I was like really young, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, it almost seemed like things were, I felt more secure. I don't know, maybe it's probably because I didn't really have to worry about nothing. I was taken care of, I didn't have to worry about a wife and kids and relationship and paying bills and my self-image and other people. I really didn't have to worry about that, you see. But nowadays, I'm older, and I want to give a big shout out to all the brothers in the Idmore stratosphere, in the atmosphere. I want to give a big shout out, man. Some of the points they were making, like, it hit me so heavy that, in a sense, it almost bring tears to my eyes. It almost made me cry. Because as I look at this society, it's almost like it's devastating. It's devastating, man. One of the points that blackram made, I think it was a super chat, and the guy was complaining about the brothers coming at the simps really hard. One of the guys in the comment section, he sent a super chat, and he said, well, blackram and solotv, why do you guys always go at the simps so hard? Like, why you guys always go at the simps so hard? And blackram broke it down into science. I can't give it to you how blackram gave it to him, but I'm gonna try to give it to you the best way that I can. But blackram was saying, it's like the reason why we have to go at the simps, because like back in our days, everybody used to be simps. Like, we've made some mistakes and we've done some simping things. But he was talking to this other younger brother, like, you're almost looked at as being a drill sergeant. Drill sergeants come down on their privates. They
In 1 mile, turn right to merge onto I-44 west toward Rolla.
They drill them, and they drill them so hard so that they can bring the weakness out of them. They drill them so hard so they can bring that weakness out of them. You see? And in that way, that weakness won't infect other people that are around them as well, to bring them down. So drill sergeants, they drill them extremely hard to bring the best out of that soldier, to bring the best out of that person. And as brothers, we come down on each other with harshness, with love as well. If you're understanding as a brother, you gonna get this. You'll get it. But
use the right lane to merge onto I-44 west toward Rolla.
That's what we do as brothers, and we're gonna be stern, and we're gonna be harsh, and that's okay. And if you're a brother who is introspective and you're willing to learn, and you're willing to open your mind to this and just try to become a better man, and if you are
for 79 miles, continue straight.
And if you are a brother who want to create a better society and who want to create change, you would hearken to another man's word that's, in a sense, speaking truth. And I know it sucks sometimes, because when some person tell you something different as to what you've been told and as to what you've been conditioned to, that's kind of hard, because you've been conditioned to be in a relationship with a single mother. You've been conditioned to not discipline and not check women. You don't even know what disciplining a woman is all about. You don't even know what it's all about. Like, you don't even know what that concept is, to discipline a woman. You don't know what it is to check her, because you've never seen it. Your dad has never done it. Uncles, family members, other males, they've never done it. You see? So we come at simps to weed out the weakness and to make other brothers strong, so we can create better men, better leaders in men. This is why we do this, you see? And Black Ram, he broke it down to science. And so they brought up another topic as far as a woman sleeping around. Because I talk to women, like even women that I have sex with, that I fool around with, I would tell them, I let them know, like, hey, if you get with a guy who would disagree with everything you say, just know that it's a possibility that man may not be the best man for you. You see? Because he's just a passive guy. He's a weak guy. You're just going to walk all over that guy. And for the most part, you're not going to respect him as well. So Black Ram and Solo TV 84, it was talking about a woman who sleeps around with a lot of dudes. And of course, there's a difference between a man sleeping around or a woman sleeping around. It's worser. Shout out to Coach Greg Adams. It's worser for a woman to sleep around versus a man. Because when a woman sleeps around, she, with 20, 30 guys, hard for her to pair bond. It's a possibility that it would be impossible for her to pair bond. And then they were saying that with this woman, she won't be satisfied because she used to all these different cocks. And then that, in a sense, that would supersede cheating and infidelity. You see? So this is why it's not good for a woman to sleep around or have a lot of bodies. And segueing into that point, Black Ram, he touched on a topic that really, really touched me. He said something that really touched me. I kind of thought about it real deeply. And Black Ram, well, Atagon Forest had been talking about it for a long time, but I just never really thought nothing of it. I never really thought nothing of it, man. And it's when you as a man, well, we living in a modern society nowadays. We living in a new age nowadays. And Atagon, he made a video about this as well. Relationships are dead. But we living in a new generation now, where it's like you got women out here that's 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 years old that got 10, 15, 20 bodies, especially in the black community. So imagine you wifing up a woman like that. Imagine you wifing up a woman who has 15, 20, 25 bodies, sleeping around, giving head, all this other stuff. You know that it's not going to last. You know that this woman is not going to be submissive. She's going to be hard-headed. She's going to be hard to get along with. If you marry and wife up and get with a woman like that, have a baby with a female like that, you have to be a passive man. You have to be a weak guy. You have to be a weak guy. So Black Ram touched on, you're saying that relationships are out of the window. Relationships are dead. It's done. It's over. For 95, 96, 90, 97% of these women, it's dead, especially black women. It's over. It's dead. It's over, man. Don't even look forward to it. And in a sense, that's kind of heartbreaking. That was a tough pill to swallow. That's tough to swallow. I don't have kids or a wife, never got married. But for the most part, just knowing that I'm never going to get married. I'm never going to have kids. Never. I'm never ever going to get married. I'm never ever going to have kids. That's hard to swallow, but it's a reality right there. And as a man, if you have standards, let's say if you have a standard to not, and you go and talk to other women, or you tell another woman about this, let's say if you say, well, I'm not going to date a single mother. If that's one of your standards, most likely you're not going to even be with a female. You're not going to even be in a relationship. If you have standards as a man, they're going to weed you out. You're not going to even be able to enter a relationship. It's a possibility you might not even be able to get vagina if you have standards as a man. If you get with a female and one of your standards is for a woman to be from weight ranging from 110 pounds to 160 pounds. If that's one of your standards, and you talk about this to a woman, or you let this be known, it's a possibility you're not going to even be able to get a woman or get vagina. If you have standards as a man, most likely you won't get no play. But you got women out here that they got the highest standards in the world, and this is why a lot of them are single. They want a guy that's 6 feet tall, a guy who has all his stuff together. See? That's crazy. That's crazy. And I see it because I was talking to this one woman. I told like 2 or 3 women about this. If we do enter a relationship, you wearing a tight, promiscuous looking clothing like yoga pants and extremely tight jeans, form-fitting jeans, if we ever cohabitate, I'm not going to want you to wear stuff like that. And these women, I can see the demons come out of these women when I talk to them about submitting like that. These women, they snarl at me, look at me crazy. Well, I want to be able to wear what I want to wear, and this and that. It's just, so I kind of look at these women, it's just a lost cause. And it's sad that when Black Ram brought up the pump and dump, but this is what it has come down to, guys, because you can't as a man enter a relationship with a woman that's got 20, 30 bodies on her. Because like I was talking about earlier, it's going to be hard for her to pair bond. She's not going to be satisfied with you. Then that's going to lead to cheating. You see? We're living in a new age. It's a sad deal. It's sad, man. It almost scares me. That almost scares me. That almost scares me, man. It's crazy. But it's true and it's factual. So, that's what I'm gonna name this video. I was just listening in. The video is actually old. Well, it's like a couple weeks old. I think it's like a week or 2 old. But these brothers was going in. These brothers was going all the way in. These brothers was going all the way in. I say to myself, it's like, wow, there's no hope out here for a man. And this is even biblical. You can go to the book of Genesis. I'm sort of paraphrasing. I'm going to give it to you how I would want to give it to you. But if a man, if you see all this chaos over here in America, if there's chaos here in America, we're living in Babylon, and you see the promiscuity of most of the women in America, it's like you cannot get a woman pregnant. You can't find a wife over there. There's no virgins over here. You can't procreate with a woman in this country. You can't marry a woman in this country. You can't even do it. So for the introspective, for the thinking man, it would be advantageous to take his talents elsewhere, travel abroad and go overseas. This is how introspective men think. Because an introspective...
Police reported ahead.
An introspective man is not gonna put himself in a precarious situation as far as wifing up or having a baby or entering in a relationship or cohabitating with one of these modern day women here in America. It wouldn't be advantageous, because you're just gonna run into a whole bunch of problems. So the introspective man would be better off going overseas and finding a wife. You got women overseas that are 25, pushing 30 years old that are still virgins, never had sex, never. And they were just talking about like what would be the outcome, like what's going to be the outcome of modern day dating in America for men and for a lot of introspective men. Well, for some men. And what introspective men, what thinking men would do is go to another country. I've noticed some of these white men, these high-ranking white men in the military, or just guys that are in the military, they would go overseas, go to Panama or whatever, China, and go get a foreign woman and bring them back here, because they don't want to deal with white feminist women. White women, they have to wake up as well and ask themselves, like, why are these white men going overseas to find wives? It's crazy. It's deep. I wish I had the money. I mean, I would give me a passport and I would be out of here. I'd be out. I would leave. It almost made me sad. That live stream almost made me sad because it's true. And there's nothing that I can do about it. As much as I want to be, like I want to, because if you think about the book of Genesis and what the Most High did when he brought Adam down here, and he seen that Adam, he was lonely. Adam needed a companion. So what did he do, guys? You know what the Most High did? He laid Adam down, and from Adam came Eve. And he gave Adam a companion. But as thinking, man, this is what we're going to have to deal with. Being alone. You get with a female, take her on a couple dates or whatever, copulate with her, have sex with her 4 or 5 times maybe, well, like a month or two, fool around with her for like 2-3 months, like Adagon say, and then just let her go. And I know it sounds bad, guys. I know it sounds bad. I know it sounds... Some guys will say, oh, that's being a whoremonger. But as a man, I say to myself, it's like, as a man, you can sleep with whoever you want to sleep with. And I look at majority, at least 95% of these women out here like they're concubines. The new modern terminology is side pieces. This is how I look at them. And this is how you must look at them in order for this society to change. Because this is forlorn right here. This is forlorn. Man. Oh, man. The best bet is for a guy to fool around with a chick. Make sure you use protection so you won't catch a disease or get a female pregnant. Be with her for a couple months, a couple dates, and release her. Just let her go. Because the Most High, He knows your heart. The Most High knows my heart. Yes, I want a wife. I would want kids. That's what I want. And when I talk to a lot of women, when I fool around with a lot of women nowadays, that's what I talk about. I talk about a woman, being a woman, actually moving together. And this is one of the big conundrums with the independent woman, or the woman having her so-called stuff together. Because if you have a woman who has bought a house, she got her own house, her own car, her own everything, there's no room for, like, what can a man do for her? A man can't protect her and provide for her. You see? Single mother. 2, 3 kids. 3 kids by different guys. Who's going to wife that up? A simp will. My little sister found a perfect simp. Perfect. And this is a nice looking guy, no homo. He's in the military, making like 50K plus a year. She does makeup or whatever. But she had a mistake baby by a thug guy when she was 19. And this guy just got her pregnant. They've been together for like 6 years. But he's a simp. I did it as well like 5, 6 years ago. I'm glad I didn't have no baby by that chick. But now I know better. I'm enthralled that I didn't have no baby by that chick. Now I know better. I use protection. I even use the pull-out game strong. But yeah, I talk to some of these, to a lot of these women who I sleep with, and they know my intentions. Some women will look at it as like, oh, I was talking to some other woman and she was like, oh, you kind of come on too strong, you scare a woman off. But I was telling one other woman, I told her, like, I would let a woman know. I would want a relationship. I would want to cohabitate with a woman. I would actually want to be a husband. Just to let a woman know my intent. And a lot of women, they would run, they would leave after, forget what a person is saying. It's all about the actions. I was just talking to this one woman. I was fooling around with her. She lived an hour away. Dating her as I was with her. Sex and everything. I went out to the mall a couple times, just hung out. And then after 2 months went by, the distance became too much for her. It just became too much. I talked to her about actually moving up here where I was, and she was all for it. And then after a couple months went by, the distance became too much for her, or at least that's what she said. I was just banging this one chick, like last month. She lived like 20 minutes away. She had left her passport in my car. And I took it back to her house, banged her out or whatever. And all of a sudden, she just went ghost. And I know you guys thinking like, oh, what did you do? I didn't do nothing wrong. I didn't talk about this immoral stuff or just being dominant. I didn't talk about none of that stuff. I was just a cool guy. I don't talk about that stuff until we actually start thinking about cohabitating. But that's not going to happen, though. That's not going to happen. Not with these modern day promiscuous women. That's not going to happen. But yeah, man, it's deep. I was just talking to this other woman, and let's see. I was just talking to this other woman. I was banging her. She was living with somebody. And then now all of a sudden she was saying she's gonna get kicked out. And she was a nice looking girl. And she just up and told me she had got an eviction notice because she didn't pay the bills for like a month, or like a couple months. She said she's not gonna be able to see me for a long time because she don't know what she's gonna do and this and that. Can't be with her. These women are just falling off. They falling off left and right. I mean, that's cool. That's cool too. But what I'm trying to explain is, you brothers, you guys know my heart. And I know you brothers' heart. Introspective brothers, I know you guys' heart. That's why I see a lot of brothers that would try to travel abroad and go overseas. Now, you got some guys who would travel abroad and go overseas to just to be whoremongers, to sleep around. They don't have no end goal when it comes down to fooling with women. I'm not talking about those guys. I'm talking about guys with morals, guys with standards, and guys who have a moral compass, guys who have an outlook for a woman, not to just pump and dump her. Nowadays in America, it's sad, but this is what we have to do. If you go overseas, then that's when you can really try to find a real wife, but not in America. You can't do that here. Man, I was just about to say something, but it slipped.
Watch out, vehicle stopped on shoulder ahead.
I was about to say something, but it kind of slipped my mind. But, yeah, man. Yeah, it's crazy. All we can do is just protect yourself. That's all you can do out here on these streets, because it's becoming crazy. A lot more men. We have to be able to embrace this idea of just being alone. We have to be able to embrace this as a man. We have to do it. That's about it, man. Much love to you brothers. Check back in with you guys.